How's everybody doing today? Sorry, I forgot today was a cycling day for me. So I was getting ready to go cycling, putting all my cycling stuff together, and it dawned on me that it was also Wednesday. So I apologize. Who's teaching this class? I don't know. So we'll talk about discussions here real quick before I go cycling. Get that sent out to you, and then when I get back later today, I'll post the make some more videos for you concerning. We need to talk about the syllabus this week, and we should talk about Project 1A, and we'll talk. And in this discussion post video right now, we'll discuss the readings and kind of how to navigate those, and also talk about the discussions assignments themselves. All right. So let me minimize here. Okay, so I'm at our web page here, our off-course WordPress site. If you haven't taken advantage of signing up or receiving the invitation, or if you still have yet to do that, please look for that email sent to your Wayne State email. All right, so you can have access to all the good stuff here. All right, so I'm going to go to the projects tab here. All right. Because here we have all the projects listed, and we'll pull up discussions, which is what we're going to talk about today. So, as you may or may not have read yet, part of being a professional technical communicator isn't necessarily always only writing. It's writing to, as you're reading this week, to discover, shape, and transmit information, as Markel defines it. So when we provide analyses of the things that we discover, and then we shape and we transmit those, sometimes we are asked to also do that verbally. It could be through video chat, Skype, Google Hangouts, things of that nature in today's what we call social media milieu. So the next class in this sequence, obviously from 3050 to 3060, is presentations, and so you do dive into more about presentations, but this kind of gives us a precursor to think about presentations. Well, we're not doing a formal presentation. We're going to share our work, as I state here, under the assignment prompt. So you know here there's written responses, which is the first one this week will be a written response. Some weeks we'll do peer reviews, where we will all post here on the WordPress site, or on, I think we have to do those on Blackboard, I'm not sure anyway. And then we provide feedback, right, in a collaborative way, in a collaborative environment as a technical communicator. Furthermore, screencast is where we kind of really start to talk about presenting our work visually, and this is what you're watching right now is a screencast from Screencast-O-Matic. If you happen to have a Chromebook, i.e. something like this, Google Chromebook or something, they have a screencast app as well. So we should be covered, I think, on everything there, and they're free. So, and we'll talk about those a little bit more later. A primary concern, I'm sure, to you at the moment is what about the written response this week? So, so let's read this. A written response, a good written response will respond deeply to the prompt, demonstrating thorough understanding of the readings. Your initial response will be written to the class, right, or in general, right? Your replies to fellow classmates' responses will be written to the individual and further engage the discussion. In your written responses, you will want to directly reply to the prompt, providing sufficient analysis and evidence of your ideas. So referencing, for example, this week we want to reference Markel and Kramer and Bernhardt at a minimum. And then respond to your classmates' responses in a respectful tone and voice, thus further engaging the conversation. Let me say something about respect. We're not here to point fingers. We're not here, even when we provide feedback or any of the type of things that we do in discussions here, please remain respectful, responsible, non-combative, non-argumentative. Always work to engage the discussion further. If you come across a prompt that you feel you cannot do that, then go to another one. Okay? Yeah, if you do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, so that's really it, right? That is the so minimum requirements. Respond to prompts each week as they're posted, and then to kind of further expand on how I grade these. Do you address your response to an audience? All right. Address all the likely questions, right? So in other words, you're answering the prompt. Clearly demonstrate research that you've read, the results of your research, the evidence. You organize the information, provide some specific examples and evidence. You thoroughly address the topic, right, from the prompt. Video or responses or videos, formatting features to chunk information, basic design principles covered in this class. This is probably more has to do with peer review. And then obviously your writing is clearly worded. All right, so here's the nitty-gritty written responses. So there'll be 5 at about 10. There are 10 points each. Peer review 3 at 25, and we'll do 3 screencasts at 25 each as well. All right, so now you're thinking to yourself, okay, that's all great, Corey, but how do I do this thing? All right, so when you are on our technical communication WordPress site, so you're on the home page, you'll notice that right underneath home and under announcement there's 2 CRN numbers, right? So if you are in, you need to check, make sure, are you in 34956? Then you will click on that one. If you are on 35016, click on that one. Okay, pretty self-explanatory. I'll just click on 34956. And you'll see it I have posted now. We've got the weekly discussion post links right here. Okay, so week 1, technical communication design. That's what we're talking about this week. So here is the prompt. This week we read about what technical communication is in Markel. All right, he says something very specific. And Kramer and Bernhardt provided 5 basic design principles. You need only address one and why you feel that one is important. So here's the overall question. Drawing heavily from the text, what is technical communication? Right? Why is it important to take a technical communications course? And again, this is according to Markel, right? And how one design principle is beneficial and why. So a parenthetical here says, be thorough, detailed, and specific with your answers. For example, it is not enough to simply state a design principle and state that you like it. You must describe the principle and explain how and why it is beneficial. For your responses, please adhere to the following word count requirements. Your primary response to the prompt should be at least 250 words, and then you will then reply to 2 primary responses at 150 words each. Okay? And then, so right here, you will click here to enter your comment, right? And it will show who you are as logged in, blah, 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 okay? And then you would just type in your response right here, okay? When you come back, right, so those are due Friday, right? So let's go back to weekly modules, okay? And we are on week 1 still. And the Part 1 and Part 2 videos are listed here. Assignments here, right? So discussion post due Friday, right? So your initial post to the initial prompt that we just took a look at are due by Friday by midnight or 11:59 p.m. Then you come back, or they may be there. You may have some replies while you're there. You can go ahead and knock out and reply to, then you reply to 2 other posts in that thread, if you will. All right, so if we go back to 34956 as our example, we go to the week 1 prompt. So when after you initially put if you're the first one, right, then you'll come back and then you'll start to see down here, they'll start to propagate. All right, you'll start to see your fellow classmates' responses, and so you'll want to pick 2 of those and respond to those. And if we could also try to make sure everyone at least gets one reply, one response to kind of this is like a mini class discussion. Of course, I'll be popping in there too, and I'll be making comments and responding to what you're saying as well. Okay, so about 9 minutes. So I think that's fairly sufficient. See if I can get my here it comes. All right, there, I'm back up. Okay, so I think that'll do it. I hope you have a good day. I'll be back later when I get back from cycling, and we'll talk about some syllabus things, items in a video, and then I'll work on a Project 1A video as well. So have a great day. If you have any questions, please just let me know, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Take care.